To write with artificial intelligence or not to write? Where do you belong in this debate? Since the emergence of generative AI, for example, chatgpt in November 2022, there has been different debates about the effect of artificial intelligence on different aspects of the society. First and foremost, the conversation was around whether artificial intelligence is here to take jobs, the jobs of humans, and then the conversation went to the morality of some of these artificial intelligence tools. One of the conversations around the subject of artificial intelligence in 2025 is whether or not to write with AI. Should you create content, whether it's on social media or write blog content, with artificial intelligence? And in this video, I'm going to give my take on the subject. But before I do that, I want to quickly show you two faces and two people who are like on these different divides of the conversation. The first person I'm going to be showing you is Kieran. So Kieran is one of my favorite writers. Kieran used to be a medical doctor, a dentist actually, and he resigned from his job and began to write on the internet. Currently, Kieran has built a business that makes at least $500,000 in a year writing on the internet, and of course trainings and coaching and all of that. And this is another person who is on the other divide of the conversation, Ole Lehmann. Ole Lehmann went bankrupt trading crypto, and in the midst of that misery, Ole decided to build a brand on the internet. Having no background in writing, Ole decided to leverage on chatgpt to write on the internet, and currently Ole has been able to build a business that makes at least $500,000 also writing and then teaching other people how to write. On this divide, Kieran has built a successful online business writing, and Kieran is one of the popular writers who is very much against using artificial intelligence to write. On this other divide, Ole Lehmann has built a successful business, writing on the internet, leveraging on artificial intelligence. Now, this video is not a Kieran versus Ole Lehmann video. I'm just showing you two people who represent these two divides and who have built successful businesses, whether it is writing with AI or not to write with AI. So what exactly do I think about this question? I think there is no straightforward answer to whether to write with AI or not to write with AI. I also think there is no right or wrong perspective on this. Ultimately, this boils down to individuals' value, beliefs, and perspective. But this is my philosophical approach to answering this question. The three most important things when you're building a personal brand on the internet is: number one, your taste or your standard, your beliefs or your conviction, and then your audience experience. Your taste or standard. I believe everyone ought to have a standard, and when it comes to building your personal brand, you ought to have a standard or a bar that you set for yourself for which you want your brand to be identified with. And of course, your beliefs and your convictions are the things that you share and you communicate in your content. And as you do number one and number two, the audience now comes into play. The goal of setting a high bar for yourself and of course sharing your convictions and belief is to ensure that the people who read you feel good or live with a very fantastic customer experience or maybe audience experience when they read your stuff. Because ultimately, how your audience feel about the content you create defines their perception of your personal brand. In the end, I think what is important, whether you create content with AI or not with AI, is that you have a good taste and set a high standard for your brand, and then you ensure that you have solid and good moral convictions. And then finally, ensure that every of your content leaves your audience feeling good and feeling amazing about what you have just shared with them. So in the end, whether you decide to write yourself or you decide to use AI, as long as it aligns with your taste, as long as it's able to communicate your conviction, and as long as your audience feels so good about your content, I think writing with AI or not with AI does not matter in this case. And I love how Harry Drive puts this: AI is just a tool, and a tool is as good as your taste. So if the standard you have set for yourself is such that generative AI can fit into content creation for you, perfect. But if the standard you have set for yourself is that you would not dare use AI, then that's also good. Which is why I said there is no right or wrong. Everyone is entitled to their opinion and their beliefs and whatever it is that works for them. So the real question is not whether to use AI or not to use. The real question is whether you have a high standard for yourself and whether the content you put out measures up to that standard and conveys your conviction and your belief, and whether your audience leave every of your content feeling so good interacting with your mind. All right, if you can achieve that with AI, why not? And if you also achieve that writing by yourself, fine and good. And who says that you cannot create content with artificial intelligence that sounds like human? I will swear that if I create a content for you with artificial intelligence, you will not know it was created using generative AI. But 99% of times, I still do create my content by myself. So what you choose to do might be different from what I do. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but the question is what you do, how is it working for you, and what experience is it giving your audience? So this is my take on this subject. I want to know what you think about this subject in the comment section. And if this video has been valuable to you, like this video, drop me a comment, subscribe to this channel so that every time I drop a content like this, you will be notified. I'll see you in my next video. In the meantime, stay legendary.